My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now. Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. But my friends, I'm just trying to make you a little money. My job's not just entertain, but I'm trying to teach you. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC. Tweet me, Jim Cramer. All day I heard that today's rally was just a bear market rally, okay? That it was a phony spike, and the market will go right back down the moment the president posts that there'll be no compromise on tariffs. Who knows? Maybe Fed Chief Jay Powell should be deported. We keep hearing that the Dow gained 1,017 points, S&P climbed 2.5%, and Nasdaq jumped 2.7% on a bogus set of facts about a possible deal with China. A deal doesn't exist. But then, right after the close, we get incredible news that is sure to drive this market higher. The president said he has no intention of firing Fed Chief Jay Powell, which, by the way, was the proximate cause of yesterday's collapse. Never did, never will, Trump said about a prospective firing. Yes, he said he wants Trump to be more active about lowering interest rates, but so is everybody else. So now we have to ask ourselves, can we still call this a rally in a bear market? No, I think it's got to be at least something bigger. Nevertheless, we have to ask ourselves if Powell's fire, now that it's off the table, what can take us higher still after what we have to expect is a nice follow-through rally tomorrow, maybe tomorrow morning? First, of course, it's entirely possible we resume the decline after a short, sharp spurt higher on the welcome news of Powell staying. That's what happened last time after we heard that there'd be a 3-month pause on most of the tariffs. I don't deny it's a possibility, a very real possibility, because it happened before. It was a fairly good possibility it could happen again, and we might just go back down. Second, though, there's a great misunderstanding about how real recoveries get started. They always start as bear market rallies, for heaven's sake. They're rarely based on hard facts. There's usually tremendous skepticism toward these advances because of previous failures that only the most bold or the most foolish catch the beginning of. Now, look, just because the president doesn't want a constitutional crisis and is going to keep Powell doesn't mean we have more to go on. For example, there's been no sign of change from the administration on the trade wars. I mean, he's talking about maybe we want to have 0, maybe 45. I mean, he's not giving us anything beyond the amorphous closed-door statement attributed to Treasury Secretary Besson that the China tensions are not sustainable. Well, that seemed almost cheesy in its prurient derivation. But again, when you get this kind of rally, it doesn't happen because someone gave you the green light to start buying. You don't get a statement from the president the trade war is over and everything's back to normal. Bye. By the time there's definitive proof, usually the rally's been going on for a while. Usually you've missed the rally. So what could happen positively? Again, this is still most likely a bear market rally, one that could be rolled back at any moment. There's still plenty that's wrong. But you know what? There have been many rallies that have started like this. After all, we've gone up 38,000 points since I first bought stocks 45 years ago. And during that time, we've had a bunch of bear markets that ended on nothing but a whimper that only led to something bigger before graduating into a full-blown rally. Let's go over some of the clues to the next move because I think history is instructive. First, we've seen the headline in the Journal, Dow headed for worst April since 1932 as investors send no confidence signal. Now, can we agree that as terrible as things may be, it's a long shot to repeat the Great Depression here? We put tariffs on countries that are higher than the tariffs that partially led to the Great Depression. But, man, I mean, we had 23% unemployment in 1932. And by the way, you pseudo-historians out there, the market bottomed in the summer of 1932. So if you're going to start drawing comparisons, I mean, we could be headed for a bottom now, even as it's covered with silt and can't be seen. Second, it's entirely possible that one of our trading partners actually blinks. Where is it written that every country on Earth, even Lesotho, will defy the President of the United States? Don't you think someone caves? What happens if India orders 40 Boeing planes on top of those rumored fighter jets from Lockheed? What if Korea agrees to take only our natural gas and all of it? What if NATO decided to take every missile that RTX makes, or perhaps some bigger European countries buy RTX's missiles and donate them to Ukraine, which could be hapless without them? What if Germany announces it will close several of those gigantic Mexican car plants and open new ones in specially designed American industrial zones in specific red states that have higher unemployment? How about if Japan says it's totally agrees with President Trump and is willing to break down right now, this minute, for a Tokyo Electron super plant in Dothan, Alabama, or perhaps Shreveport, Louisiana? I don't think any of these are particularly likely, but if it only takes one of them changes the whole game. And we'll be this, not that. Like with the law firms, Trump only needs to roll one, roll them all. Third, we get actually some soft numbers, economic numbers, it would make it much easier for the Federal Reserve to, cut rates. Weak unemployment. Weak employment. Hey, how about lower car prices? Stranger things have happened. Powell would take action. Fourth, say President Xi invites someone to China, maybe Treasury Secretary Bessent, maybe Elon Musk. And I don't know, Tesla quarter here and there. Okay, there, I got that out of the way. And the situation is so out of control that maybe he says, you know what, instead of this, let's go for this. Okay, because we're obviously at this point headed for some sort of confrontation, and it won't be about trade. Is this possible? Musk has been there aplenty. He can he can ask about Tesla and then come back with something positive about trade. If China's willing to come to the table, it's important that President Trump not gloat. That we can't have that. You got to save face. Got to let China save face. I mean, it would be hugely positive for China to get rid of these tariffs. I'm sanctioning the president to say to Xi that he has finally chosen to get breaded up. But that's about as outrageous as I'm willing to accept. I mean, Musk can be the man to get it done, though. I mean, who doesn't want to be the man? I want to be the man. Fifth, in the next 30 days, we could see 5 big mergers and 5 big IPOs because this dry spell has now gotten ridiculous. In every case, the sellers have come to their senses and recognize that they aren't going to get what they want, okay? They can't always get what they want, but they can get what they need. Totally reasonable. Hey, we just need 5 of each, okay? I mean, that would do it. I'm telling you, that would do it. Business as usual. 6, perhaps oil truly does crash. Why not? Who's to say it can hang on at this level? The president can threaten to do something to the major Middle East producers that we don't even know. And next thing you know, we're flooding the world with crude, and it drops to 30. At 30, the Fed has the flexibility to cut rates. And now that Powell's back in the president's good graces, I mean, wow, you know what? He probably wants to do it. I think that the long rates set by the bond market will go down if the short rates get cut, if oil collapses, okay? Now, notice, I'm not even calling for a return of the Mag 7 remake. I'm not saying the data center is alive and well. I'm not saying that Tesla shouldn't be up 11 or 12, and it is. I'm not calling for Temu to start advertising again. I'm not asking for ByteDance to be sold to President Trump so he can dole it out to followers on True Social. None of that has to happen for this market to start running, not one bit. But the bottom line, I just gave you 6 potential positives, and you only need one of them for everything to start getting rolling. And this will be counted as a real rally and no longer dismissed, as you know it was all day today. You heard it. I kept saying to my guys, hey, I was saying, like, hey, come on, Dylan. It's like, they could be real. And it's real. What are the chances that all 6 of my ideas go wrong? Inconceivable. Sooner or later, somebody's got to blink, all right? Doesn't matter who. And when that happens, we're going to be in much better shape. And you're going to be hearing not this, but this. Philip in New York. Philip.
Yes, Jim, a big Irish booyah for you over here from New York State. Good afternoon, and how are you?
I am doing fine, thank you. The president, Powell's going to stay. Tesla's up big. I mean, what is not to like? Okay.
Listen, I got to love it. I got a question for you. UPS. UPS is actively expanding their global operations and investments in their network, making enhancements to facilities all the way across Asia Pacific and Europe. These were strategic moves that were made by UPS. Jim, I've been in this stock strategically placed, very nicely placed for the last 18 months. However, my backside has a little rug burn on it from the slide that it's been doing for the...
Well, look, I think that, rug burn aside, and by the way, I like Mohawk carpet on that. I do think that you're going to run into a little trouble because world trade is not what we think it is. And look, I really like FedEx, and I'm not just sitting here pounding the table from FedEx either. So we got to be careful, but I appreciate your call. We got to be careful. Let's go to Thomas in Minnesota. Thomas.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. C Notes.
Hi, what's going on?
I'm just curious on your thoughts on if Target is financially healthy enough to be invested in at this time. Or
well, it's down 30%. It sells at 10 times earnings, but the tariffs are going to hurt it, and I think their pricing is not reasonable enough. And that makes me reluctant to pound the table. I've got a lot of stocks where there's questionable stuff, and I can't pound the table on them if anything's questionable. Everybody's got to be totally buttoned down. But I got to tell you, I see that Tesla's rallying, and that can really help. And along with that, obviously, if Powell stays, we're going to have a hard time keeping to call this a bear market rally. And the people, by the way, who said it was a bear market today, they are going to look very funny, and they better wear some bear suits tomorrow. Every rally has to start somewhere. Sooner or later, someone will blink, and then we'll be in much better shape. And you know who blinked tonight? President Trump. On Mad Money tonight, after jam-packed morning of aerospace and defense reports, I'm taking a close look at the post-earnings action to see which stocks could fly higher from here. Then you called in, you put a small medical device player on my radar. I did my homework, a quick turnaround there, and it was like by 24. It was like when I took the generals. I gotta sumo on the generals. Apropos, absolutely nothing. And later, Salesforce has been falling this year. I mean, but isn't that enough already with the falling? I don't know. Let's give a jingle to Mark Benioff. So stay with Cramer.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on X. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadMentions. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.